Good morning, everyone. This is Anika's Beer Bear Studio. Right now, I'm out doing some laundry, but I figure I'll make a quick video here, explain like a couple more game mechanics. So when it comes to Colonies and Conquerors, when you're in combat, the main roles that you will be doing will be like attack, defense, spell power, and resistance rolls. And I'll break those all down for you. So attack rolls, you'll roll a d20, add your mastery, and then you'll either add your might bonus or your agility bonus, depending if you're using melee or ranged weapons. Now, whatever you roll on the die, it has to beat the defender's roll. So the defender's roll, they'll roll a defense, which is 1d20 plus mastery plus whatever armor that they have. And defender wins on ties, so you have to beat the number that they roll. Now, if you roll a natural 1 when attacking somebody, it's an automatic miss. If you roll a natural 20, it's a crit. However, for the defense, they might be able to roll 1s and 20s as well. If they roll a 1, that's a critical fail, and they'll take double damage. And then also, if they roll a natural 20, it's a critical defense, and they end up parrying and blocking your whole deck, even if you roll a critical to hit them. Now, a devastating thing could be like that could happen is like with you rolling a critical hit, you know, that natural 20 on attack, you'll deal double damage. But if you roll a critical hit and they roll a critical fail on their defense, you would times your damage by 4, and we have seen that happen. It's devastating. The same kind of rules and mechanic applies to spell powers and resistance rolls. So when it comes to you actually like casting spells on other people, like offensive spells, you know stuff that's going to hurt them or affect them in a negative way, you'll roll a spell power roll, which is just 1d20 plus your mind bonus. And that goes against their resistance roll, which is going to be their 1d20 plus faith bonus. Certain items and stuff can affect your spell power resistance roll, but those are two things. And they react similar like attack and defense rolls. If you roll like a nat 1 on a spell power roll, your spell fails. And then also if you roll a nat 20 on a spell power roll, if your spell deals damage, you'll deal double damage. And then on resistance rolls, a 1, that'll fail against a spell, so if it does damage, you'll take double. And then if you roll nat 20 on that resistance roll, then you will ignore the spell and not take damage. And that's another thing in Colonies and Conquerors here, is most spells, they are all or nothing. If your spell hits, cool, you'll deal damage. If you fail beating a character's resistance, your spell most likely will not affect them in any way. Now, there are perks and other factors in the game that could affect that, but that is the basic thing for all spells. And the reason why for this is because Colonies and Conquerors has spell points, but there's also a lot of ways for you to recover your spell points back. So, but anyway, that's my quick rundown on those combat rolls. As far as actions in combat, you have a primary action, a secondary action, an interrupt, and a move. Those are your 3 options. And then primary actions you can actually swap for another move action or secondary action if need to be. But yeah, so like primary actions, that's where you'll mainly roll like most of your spells, doing your attack, or some of their like kind of longer actions that way. Where secondary actions, you can attack with a one-handed weapon as a secondary action. Using a lot of your skills in combat will fall onto secondary actions. So you try and do like hide and sneak, or if you fail to notice someone when they attempt to sneak at first, you're trying again to find them, it would have to take one of those spots. And then move actions, you know, that's generally your movement speed, or if you do like a 5-foot step, you can do that to get away from a guy and not provoke any attacks. And also you going prone or standing up. Interrupts, they are basically your handle for like provoked attacks if someone tries to like move away from you in combat, or if you have certain spells and abilities that trigger that require interrupts. That's where that would fall in. And several things could fall into that. There's a lot of spells and perks that rely on interrupts or give you extra interrupts. Or even the skill Twist Fate requires that you use an interrupt. But that skill I'll explain more when I start breaking down each skill and all their uses and give a better thing that way. Alright, well, I hope you have a good morning. This is Anakin signing off.